Hey, look at that! You can unlock the Variety DLC map pack early through the Lion Strike supply drops. Alrighty then, I may not like these supply drop updates, but I like that when they happen, I get to spend some time just talking about the game, because I have a lot to say about this update, but first I have a lot of pent-up thoughts I never expressed after, you know, the whole thing where everyone got angry at once over being charged out the ass for the Variety DLC pack. Yeah, I haven't forgotten about that just because they announced some new thing. Ooh, Operation Shamrock Awe. I didn't mean it, Call of Duty, I love you again. No, I'm not an idiot. Here's the thing. I do enjoy MWR. If you don't after everything that has happened to it, that's fine. I understand. But I do enjoy it. I will continue to enjoy it. They could do pretty much anything to the game, and I may think some things are stupid, but I will still have fun playing it. And this update looks like fun, to be honest. That said, I have finally seen enough to convince myself that I do not want to purchase the next Call of Duty game, and that's pretty much where I stand after this whole meltdown. I love this game, but get me off this ride. I can clearly see where it's going at this point. Now, I can't help but feel like I would be suckered into any level of bullshit for a Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but I'm hoping that comes like 3 years from now when Infinity Ward's back up, and maybe they've figured out just a couple things by then, like cosmetic-only supply drops. If the game is to survive 3 more years, I would hope they would improve on a couple of things when all their competitors are being much more pro-consumer. But I fully expect them to screw with the potential MW2 remaster the same way that they messed with this remaster. I know, I am not that naive. Anyway, just so you all know, I wasn't overplaying being mad in that other video. I haven't completely turned around and forgiven them and forgotten about it just because they released some new content. I can recognize an abusive relationship, and I plan not to continue it. As for the Variety DLC, even if I eventually get it, I will certainly not pre-order it. As you can see, I have not, because there's no reason to do that, and it just seems dumb to show them that they're getting tons of people ordering it early. However, and this is something I wrote in a comment on the previous video, for the people who have some need to feel like they're starting a grandiose boycott movement, perhaps because some YouTubers want to feel like they're the center of some moral crusade, I see that as ridiculous and irrelevant virtue signaling. I've always boycotted COD Points because I do think they're terrible when the supply drops are not purely cosmetic. I would never promote buying COD Points because you're not getting anything of value in my opinion. In this scenario, they're overcharging for their map pack, yes, but I'm invested in this game and may personally be willing to pay it. However, this doesn't mean they've gotten away with it. The point of that previous video was proving that while some people will buy it and they'll make some more quick money, doing stuff like that repeatedly will hurt them in their wallet in the future. Everyone complaining and vocalizing their discontent does not equal nothing. Now I know Activision doesn't care about complaining and people making whiny YouTube videos. They care about money as a company should, that's their bottom line. But you know who does care about complaining? Other players, and you can see in the comments the pure number of people saying this is it, they're leaving the COD franchise. Every time something like this happens, obviously Activision doesn't care about hurt feelings, but this clearly causes players to leave. People stop playing, which means not only fewer game sales in the future, that's not as big a deal as the fewer supply drop sales. If everyone suddenly hates your game, why would anyone buy supply drops? Who are you trying to impress with your cool gear and weapons when everybody hates you for having them and everyone is unhappy with the game? That's what I was trying to say. Their punishment will come in the negative backlash, further damaging the sales of future games and their future micro DLC. So if you want to boycott, how about not buying the next COD game? If you're sick of this pattern, then it's the only way to escape. Show them this continued behavior cripples the franchise. And if it doesn't, if a new wave of kids get into Call of Duty and replace us all, well, whatever. At least you escaped, so it isn't affecting you anymore. There are plenty of awesome games out there. Basically, stop thinking you're super cool for boycotting the DLC pack. It isn't going to change anything. The percentage of players that are super into the YouTube community side of things is pretty small already. Everyone is going to make up their own mind on whether or not they want to purchase it. So calm down. If you want to boycott, if you want to break the cycle of abuse, just don't buy the next COD game. Join me in my moral crusade. No, I'm kidding. Just decide if you want to buy the next game or not based on what you're seeing. Not because of some need to boycott, but because you honestly might want to escape the cycle. If not, I won't tell you how to live your life. Now on to some brighter matters, I suppose, or maybe not. It's funny how the rage over being overcharged for DLC made new weapons seem not that bad. Clever girl, Activision. Let's take a look at this Operation Shamrock Awe and Operation Lion Strike. So we have this new operation, basically a bunch of new junk, and the temporary St. Patrick's Day event. They made a free map, kinda, just a reskin, a festive version of Downpour, which is no longer Downpour because there is no Downpour. It is Daybreak, which, as I said on Twitter, this little free map would be mildly interesting and charming if they weren't still public enemy #1 right now. This is a cool little addition, but no grounds for forgiveness. Don't say, oh, they gave us a free map, it's all okay now. They had all this content planned out in advance. One thing I did think was funny was that they definitely emphasized free in the trailer they made. I bet they either made or remade that trailer in the past week or so.
You'll have free access to season. First up, Daybreak. Free access.
So apparently you can unlock the Graves character here if you collect all the gear in the set, but only before the event ends. It is a limited time thing, and it's very expensive to buy it with salvage, which is of course a ploy to get you to buy supply drops if you get really close and the event is about to end and you really want to get it. Yeah, it's not going to work on me. Graves can go fuck himself before I open my wallet. I'm not really that offended by supply drop updates anymore. It was a sad day when the weapons came to MWR and we all knew there was no going back, but now that we're here, more weapons doesn't bother me any more than the first ones do, simply because I play the game enough, as you can see by the parts or the salvage and the debug credits I had up there, to be able to directly get anything I want with the parts. Those are the only saving grace of this annoying system. I would never spend any actual money on these, and I don't need to spend a dime to get all the weapons without a problem. That is really nice. As a fairly dedicated player, I can get everything without spending extra. That just gave me a hilarious thought. What if they gave you the Variety DLC pack for free if you reached Prestige 10 or Prestige 20 or something? That would be really funny in my opinion, but they wouldn't do it obviously. As far as the new weapons, I guess I haven't really mentioned them yet, they basically rounded out the categories. So we got a new SMG, the Mac-10. I know the in-game stat bars mean very little, but here's what it looks like compared to the Mini Uzi. As you can see, very, very similar as you'd expect from these one-handed bullet box things. We got a sniper rifle and a semi-auto one at that, which is always scary, but here are the stats compared to the M21. I can only hope that's true, that it's basically a reskinned M21, except a little bit worse. That would be ideal. I don't want an OP sniper disrupting the meta. Finally, we have the PKM. I would have preferred the PKP Peshang, but whatever. It has the same description as the M60, fully auto with high power, but the power on the stat bars is lower than the RPD. I don't know, those things never mean anything. That's it for weapons, but there are a metric ass ton of kits available. They brought Whiteout to the pistols and called it Avalanche, reskinned Gunslinger and called it Boss. In the assault rifles, my lord, Noobtuber and Mastercraft are meh. Look at Challenger though, that is getting pretty crazy. And looking at it on the AK, my god, you can take a look at it on the other weapons yourself, I'm sure. Some of them get transformed, like the MP44, my lord. SMGs have Reactive, which is pretty nutty, sign me up for Infinite Warfare fam, as well as Kingpin and Venom. Snipers get Killshot, a reskin of Assassin for the most part, and Chalk is whatever. Shotguns get Frag and Pigpen, both funny skins I guess, and LMGs got War-Torn, Titanium, and Ultraviolet. They missed a great opportunity to name that Ultraviolence, but okay, do it your way. I don't know why I obsessively went through all those, but I guess out of all the bullshit that gets added, those weapon kits are the one thing I really do like. They're a cool thing that I'm happy to get out of RNG loot boxes that do not disrupt the gameplay. I've always wanted different weapon appearances that don't change the base weapon, but aren't as basic as a camo, because I'd rather unlock the camos through challenges. I'll also mention they added the Shamrock Blade, the Thug, the Samurai, the Mechanic, and the Leprechaun. Nothing much to say about those. Well anyway, that's what we're looking at with these new operations. Because of the salvage system, I don't mind the supply drop content anywhere near as much as I would if it was still pure luck, and I do hate the non-cosmetic stuff being in there. With them doing that, and with their continued milking behavior, they have effectively scared me away from their franchise now, but I will keep playing and enjoying MWR. As I said, on the whole, I think this update looks fun, if I had any time to actually play it. But that does not mean I have the memory of a child, and that does not mean I have magically forgiven and forgotten what the entire community said as one voice only a week ago, and I hope you don't forget that either. Thanks for watching, I will catch you next time.